Okay, I am back on. Okay, so go to www.kahoot.it. Go to www.kahoot.it. I'm going to give you all the game code in a bit. I'll wait for a few more minutes just to let the others sign on. Okay, we're just having a bit of technical difficulty here, but I'm back on. Okay, so go to www.kahoot.it. The game code is 732761. 732761. So just put in your name, enter the game code, then you put in your name. You could put your nickname if you like. You don't have to put your actual name. Go ahead and put in your nickname. As long as it's decent, you put in your nickname. Okay, so I see that Imperial Maiden is here, KK is here. So the game code is 732761, and you have to go to www.kahoot.it. www.kahoot.it. Share this live with your classmates. Don't keep all of this to yourself. Remember, you want everyone to pass. I'm going to put the code in the chat. It's 732761. Okay, don't keep all of this to yourself. 732761. Go to www.kahoot.it. Those of you are just coming in, you go to www.kahoot.it. It's in the chat, and you enter the game code 732761. 732761, and you enter your name. Okay, so there are quite a few persons here. Top G's here. Jeray, KK, Zari, Nelly, AJ, and Jay is on. Okay, I'm just giving the others some time for them to sign in. Giving the others some time for them to sign in. Okay, so as I said, we're going to be looking at number theory. We'll be looking at computation. No calculators allowed. Absolutely no calculator. Okay, ensure that you have your paper. Ensure that you have your pen or your pencil for you to do your work in. Okay, because remember, for the paper 1 questions for CSEC math, calculators are not allowed. Okay, so we have to know how to calculate or get our percentages. We have to know how to do our computation without the use of the calculator. Okay, so go ahead, share this link, let your classmates know that we are here. All the questions that are being used on this game are actual past paper questions. Okay, all of these questions are actual past paper questions. Okay, so go ahead and let your friends know that we are here and we are about to begin. Okay, I have some other persons want to join. Okay, let's see. And if for some reason while you're playing the game, if for some reason you end up dropping off because of internet connection, because I mean, we are dealing with technology, so sometimes your connection may drop off. That's okay, don't panic. You can rejoin the game, and if you're unable to, you can always just put your answer in the chat area. Okay, remember, we are all winners. We are here for us to learn. We are here to have fun. We're here for us to learn. For those of you all playing for the first time, you will gain points through this game by one, answering the question correctly, and also how fast you answer the question. For the multiple choice exam, in reality, you should not stay more than 1.5 minutes on a question. Okay? So you should not be in the exam room 5 minutes, 10 minutes fighting with one question. No, you will not have time to finish this paper. So some questions, I did time them less than a minute and a half because really and truly some of them you can get them like within 15, 20 seconds. Okay? And there are some you will have to use your whole minute and a half. Okay? So again, about a minute and a half per question. You should not be wasting too much time in the examination room. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, if you're ready to begin and you're ready for you to get a grade 1, type a 1 in the chat and I will start the game. Okay, somebody's saying my friend is joining. Jemiah, has your friend joined as yet? Let me pin the link here. Let me pin this message. Okay, y'all are here for the grade 1 and y'all are ready. You all are ready. Okay, Jeremiah, if your friend has not joined us yet, they can always join throughout the game. It doesn't matter if the game is going on they can rejoin. Okay, they can join in anytime. Okay, so let's get started. Good luck. I'm giving you some confetti already. Good luck. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so I see that majority of you all got this correct. The question says, what is the value of the digit 2 in the number 48.621? Okay, 48.621. Okay, so first of all, you need to know that all of the digits to the right side of the decimal point, its value is less than a whole. These are what we refer to as our decimal fractions. Okay, so if you look at the digit 2, the digit 2 is in the hundredths place. Therefore, the value of the digit 2 would be 2 hundredths. Okay, so the first place after the decimal point is your tenths place. The next place is your hundredths. And the next place would be your thousandths. Could you all type for me in the chat? What is the value of the digit 6 in this number? What is the value of the digit 6 in this number? Type your answer in the chat for me, please. Remember, all the digits after the decimal point represents more. It's less than 1. Okay? Somebody says 6 tenths. Jenny said 6 tenths. Do you all agree with that? Okay, Chicken Back said 6 over 10. Okay. Ajani, you said tenths. Tenths represents the place value. Okay? Tenths and 6 tenths is not the same. Okay? The place is tenths. However, the value of the digit 6 is 6 tenths. Okay? And if they ask for the value of the digit 1, in this case, it will be 1 out of 1,000 because it is in the thousandths place. It represents a fraction. Okay, let's get back to the game. You're welcome, Ajani. Okay, let's get back to the game. Okay, so I see Imperial Maiden at the top here, and the toe is climbing up. 2/3 raised to the power of 2. 2/3 raised to the power of 2. I'll give you a little hint. Each number in the fraction here should be raised to the power of 2. Okay, so it's not just the 2, but also the 3 should also raise to the power of 2. Okay, so 2/3 raised to the power of 2. Okay, let's see here. 26 more seconds remaining. 26 more seconds. Okay, let's see here. So 2/3 raised to the power of 2. Okay, so again, majority of you all got this correct. Okay, so 2/3 raised to the power of 2. As I said, you have to raise each number in here to the power of 2. So 2 to the power of 2 means that we are going to multiply 2 by itself. Okay, so that will be 2 times 2, which is equal to 4. Okay, and 3 to the power of 2 would mean 3 times 3, which is equal to 9. Therefore, 2/3 raised to the power of 2 would be 4/9. Okay, so this is why it is important that you know your multiplication table. Remember, you do not have a calculator in the exam room, so you need to know how to multiply. And as I would tell my students in my class, you need to know your square numbers. 2 times 2, okay, that's 4. 3 times 3, that's 9. 4 times 4, that's 16. You need to know your square numbers up to 20 times 20. Could somebody type in the chat what's 12 squared? 12 squared would be 12 times 12. These are things that you need to know before you enter the exam room. Could you all type in the chat for me what's 12 squared? Do not use a calculator. 12 times 12. Jenna said 144. Excellent. 144. 144. 12 squared is 144. What's 13 squared? What's 13 squared? 13 squared would be 13 times 13. Okay, 169. Excellent. So please, before you enter the exam room, you should know 12 squared, 13 squared, 14 squared, 15 squared, 20 squared, 20 squared, that's 400. You need to know these. Why? Because you do not have a calculator. Okay, and you do not want to waste time trying to calculate what's 13 times 13. You should have these things to the top of your head. Okay, so excellent. Make sure you know your square numbers. Let's get back to the game. Okay, so I see a new person on the screen now. F is on the screen. Okay, y'all are doing great. I'll give you all some confetti. Y'all are doing great. Okay, so in standard notation, 0.02086 is written as. Okay, so here I'm asking you all to write this number using standard notation. There's a particular format in which you should write your answer when you're changing a number to standard notation. Okay, there's a particular format. I'll give a little hint. The decimal point should be placed after the first significant figure. Okay, the decimal point should be placed after the first significant figure. The decimal point should be placed after the first significant figure. The first significant figure refers to the first digit, which is greater than 0. The first significant figure, that would be the first digit that's greater than 0. So that gives you an idea. Okay, so again, majority of you all got this correct. So let's see here. 0.02086. We are asked to write this in standard notation. The first thing you want to do is you want to identify the first digit in the number which is greater than 0. And that would be our digit 2. So what you're going to do is you're going to rewrite this number with the decimal point after this first significant figure. Then you multiply by 10. And the reason why I'm going to say 10 to the power of negative 2, if you look carefully, I have the decimal point after the digit 2. To move the decimal point back to where it was originally, I would have to go back 2 spaces. Because I'm going back, I am going to put a negative 2. Okay? So let's see here. Right. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. Okay, I see 2 jumped up to the top. And I see IDK here is the highest climber. Okay, let's go to the next question. What number when added to 1 1/3 gives you 2? What number when added to 1 1/3 gives you 2? 2 represents a whole number. 1 1/3, that's a mixed number made up of a whole number and a fraction, a proper fraction. Okay, so what do we need to add to 1 1/3 for us to get 2 whole? Because 2 is a whole number. Okay, 2 is a whole number. Two is a whole number. Okay, so let's see here. We have 30-something seconds remaining. Okay, so remember the 1 in the mixed number is already a whole. That's 1 whole. We are trying to get to 2 wholes. So what are we missing? Are we missing a third? Are we missing 2/3? Are we missing another whole? Or are we missing 3 wholes? Okay, so we have 12 more seconds remaining here. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, excellent, excellent. So majority of you all got this correct. So we have 1 1/3. We are going back to primary school a bit. Okay, so 1 1/3. This represents 1 whole. The 1 represents 1 whole. I'm drawing a picture for you all. So pretend we have 1 whole pizza. Okay, I'm going to shade that. We're going back to primary school. Okay, and here I have another pizza, but I do not have a whole pizza. I have 1/3. Okay, so I'm shading 1/3. So as you can see here, what am I missing here for me to have 2 whole pizzas? As you can see, I am missing these other 2 parts here, which would represent 2/3. So what was missing was 2/3. So 1 1/3 plus 2/3 would be equal to 2. Okay, let's get back to the game. You all are doing great. You all are doing great. Okay, every time I'm seeing a new name on the screen, so this tells me that you all are really ready for that grade 1. Which of the following sets is defined by? I'd like you all to just focus on the last section of this here. Okay, this is what you need to be focusing on. That the value of x is more than or equal to -2. The value of x is less than or equal to 4. Okay, this is what I want you all to focus on. That x is more than or equal to -2 and x is less than or equal to 4. Okay, this is a question. You can actually answer this in like 10 seconds. Okay, this is just a question that you would not really spend a minute and a half on. Okay, because here they are simply giving you the value, the range for the values of x. From -2 to 4, it says equal here. So that should give you an idea whether you should include -2 and whether you should include +4. Okay, excellent, excellent. Let's see here. Okay, so if you look at my number line here, okay, this represents integers, both our negative and our positive numbers. Okay, now the range said that x is more than or equal to -2. Now, if you look carefully at this, right, I'm going to erase what's below the more than sign. If I have the sign like this, where I do not have the line below the more than sign, the inequality sign here, it means that the -2 would not be included in the range. Therefore, x is more than -2. I would have started at -1. Okay, it would be -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, and I would include 4. Okay, so as long as you do not see the equal sign next to the more than sign or less than sign, you do not include the number. So because I had the equal sign here, then I would have had to include -2. I'm going to give you another range. I would like you all to type for me the values of x. Let's say I have x is more than -3 and x is less than or equal to positive 2. I'd like you all to type for me. I'd like you all to type for me the values of x. Notice that I do not have an equal sign underneath this more than sign. Okay? So I'd like you all to type for me the values of x. Jeremiah, no. But you can still join the game, Jeremiah. Jeremiah, go to www.kahoot.it and I want you to put in the code 732761. Okay, excellent. So you all did not include the -3. Why? Because the inequality sign is a more than sign. It does not have the equal sign next to it. So you start on -2. And we had to include this +2. Why? Because we have an equal sign underneath our less than sign here. This is a less than or equal to. Okay, excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay, so let's move on to the game. Let's move on. Again, all of these questions are past paper questions. Okay, so very similar questions, maybe on the exam next week. I will share the game with you all after. Okay, so I see KK is here and J has the highest answer streak thus far. Excellent, excellent. The simple interest on $600 for T years at 5% per annum is $120. What is the value of T? So here you need to know the formula. You would need to know the formula to calculate when we are calculating simple interest. There are some formulas that will not be given to you on the day of the exam that you have to know. Okay, the simple interest on $600, I'll give you a hint. The interest is $120. They said that the simple interest on $600. So the $600 represents the principal. 5% represents the rate. And the $120 represents the interest. Okay? So we have principal of $600. We have a rate of 5%. And we have the interest of $120. Okay, so we have 11 more seconds. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so again, if you do not know the formula, then it will be very difficult for you to actually get this answer. Okay, so let's look at the formula for when we are calculating simple interest. Okay, before I look at the formula for time. Okay, before I look at the formula for time, let's see here. When we are calculating our simple interest, interest is equal to, could somebody tell me or type in the chat what the numerator would be? I'm already going to tell you that the denominator would be 100. What would be the numerator when we are calculating simple interest? Simple interest is equal to what? We are dealing with principal. We would have rate in there. We would have time. I'd like somebody to type for me. Okay, Jenny said P times R times T, principal times rate times time. Does anybody else agree with that? Okay, so Jeremiah, yes, the principal would be 600. Okay, but I just want the formula. Okay, so Jenny is correct. The numerator would be principal. Yes, Karani, principal times rate times time over 100. Okay, so once you are given the principal, you are given the rate, you are given the time, you can calculate the interest. Okay, now in the example that we had, the question that we had, however, they asked us to calculate time. So what is the formula for calculating time? What would the formula be for calculating rate? And what would the formula be for calculating principal? Okay, so for time, the numerator I'm already going to tell you would be 100 multiplied by your interest. Could somebody type in the chat what the denominator would be to calculate time? Time is equal to 100 multiplied by interest divided by what? What would the denominator be when we are calculating time? Again, we are dealing with principal, we are dealing with rate, we are dealing with time. We already have time as the subject. The numerator is 100 times I, so what are we missing? Right, we are missing the rate and we are missing the principal. Okay, so rate times principal. You're going to see a pattern here for these formulas. So for rate, what is the formula? Again, the numerator is the same, 100 multiplied by I. So what are we missing for us to get our denominator here? What would be the denominator for this formula for rate? The numerator is 100 times I. We are missing principal and we are missing time. So the denominator will be principal multiplied by time. Let me circle this here so we don't get confused. Okay, let's circle this here so we don't get confused. So for principal now, if you're asked to calculate principal, guess what? The numerator is the same, 100 multiplied by I. What are we missing? What's the denominator? What's the denominator when we're calculating the principal? What are we missing? Remember, when we have principal, we're dealing with interest. What are we missing for the denominator for the formula for principal? Principal is equal to 100 multiplied by I. Okay? 100 multiplied by I. What are we missing for the denominator? We are missing time, yes. And we are also missing rate. Excellent, Karani. Time times rate. Okay, so look at these formulas. You'll actually see a pattern. For interest, principal times rate times time over 100. For time, for rate, for principal, you will notice that the numerator is 100 times I for all of them. Okay? So keep that in mind. This formula will not be on the formula paper, so you need to know these formulas. Okay, so let's get back to the game. So this is a set question. Feel free to draw your Venn diagram. Okay, well, you actually have a Venn diagram here. Okay, but you can always sketch your Venn diagram for you to get a clearer picture as to what's going on. So it says in the Venn diagram, the number of elements in P is equal to 5. In the set P is equal to 5. The number of elements in the set Q is equal to 9. And the number of elements in P union Q, meaning together, is equal to 10. The number of elements in the shaded region is, so here they're asking you for the intersection. Here they're asking you for the intersection. Okay, they're asking you for the intersection here. Okay, that's all to hint. The values in P only plus the value in the intersection plus the value in Q only together should be equal to P union Q, which is 10. Okay, you have 9 more seconds remaining. Okay, so let's see here. A few persons got this incorrect. So let's see here. Let's see here. Okay, so the number of elements in P is equal to 5. So it means that in this entire circle here, we have 5 values, okay, or 5 elements, sorry. Okay, 5. Then it says that the number of elements in Q is equal to 9. So it means that in this entire yellow circle here together, all the elements would be 9. Then they went on to tell us that the number of elements in P union Q, so together, our universal set together would be equal to 10. What is the intersection? To get this, we simply say 9 plus 5. 9 plus 5, that gives us 14. Okay, 9 plus 5, that gives us 14. And once we subtract the value of the universal set P union Q, which is 10, 14 minus 10 gives us 4. So in our intersection here, we would have 4. Okay, could somebody tell me what is the value that would fit in here? What is the value for P only? How many elements do we have in P only? In P, we have 5 elements. In the intersection, we have 4. What would be the value? How many elements would we have in P only? Okay, Johnny said 1. Jeremiah said 1. Chickenback said 1. Excellent. Okay, so in P only, we would have 1. How many elements would be in Q only? In the intersection, we have 4. We have 9 elements in Q, but how many elements would be in Q only? Okay, excellent. 5. Okay, so if you look closely, 5 plus 4 plus 1 gives us what? 10, which represents the universal set that we had, P union Q. Okay, so keep that in mind, that these 3 values here together, okay, will represent the union of these 2 sets. Okay, so let's get back to the game. You all are doing great. You all are doing great. Excellent. Okay, Imperial Maiden to the top here. A dress cost $180. Is being sold at a discount of 10%. The amount of the discount. Okay, so remember to answer the question that is asked to you. They asked you for the discount. They did not ask you for the discounted price. They never tell you to do any subtraction. They just asked you for the value of the discount. Okay, they just asked you for the value of the discount. So you need to calculate what's 10% of 180. Okay, you do not have a calculator, so you need to know how to calculate this, and you need to know how to calculate this without a calculator and in a quick manner. I'll show you all a trick after how you can calculate 10% of any number without a calculator very quickly. Okay, we have a few more seconds remaining. So calculate what's 10% of 180. That would represent the discount. 10% of 180. Okay, 10% of 180. Okay, we just have 7 more seconds remaining. Okay, nice. Majority of you all got this correct. I'm giving you all some confetti for that. Excellent. Okay, so let's see here. We had to calculate 10% of $180. Okay, now, whenever you have a whole number, right? Whenever you have a whole number, the decimal point is always after the last digit. A quick way to calculate 10% of any number is to simply move that decimal point 1 space back to your left. So by just moving this decimal point right here, I automatically know that 10% of 180 is $18. Okay, what if I had 120? Again, the decimal point is to the end. Could you all tell me what's 10% of 120? To get 10% of any number, just move the decimal point 1 space back, and you automatically get 10% of that number. So could you all type for me what's 10% of $120? Excellent, $12. Just send the decimal point 1 space back. What if I had What if I had $225? What's 10% of $225? Again, the decimal point is at the end. Just carry the decimal point one space back and you get your 10% of 200. Excellent, 2250. You just carry the decimal point one space back. Quick math. Remember, we don't have our calculator. No time to waste in the exam. So right now, you know how to calculate 10% of any number. Now, let's look at this quickly before we move on to the next question. You all told me a while ago that 10% of $120 is $12, right? Okay, so $12 represents 10%. If $12 represents 10% of 120, how much money would represent 20%? We know how to get 10%, right? If you know how to get 10%, we know 10% is $12. What is 20%? 10% of $120 is $12. That's 10. Exactly. You simply multiply by 2. You double it, $24. So if you are asked to calculate 20% of a number, you just get 10% of that number and you multiply your answer by 2. Okay, so that's $24. Okay, now guess what? If 10% of $120 is $12, could you all tell me what's 5% of $120? If 10% represents $12, what's 5%? $6. Excellent. 5% Ajani. So we are going 5% Ajani would be half of 10%. $12 represents 10%. So half of that would be $6. Okay? So here it is. You have a trick right now to calculate your percentages. Once you know 10%, you can get any percentage. You can get half of that. You can get twice that amount. You can even get what's 1% by dividing your 12% by 10 and get what's 1%. Okay, so you have a little trick here for next week. Okay, so let's see. I thought you said 50. Okay, Ajani. All right, that's okay. All right, so let's move on to the next question. The game is almost over, but I see Imperial is maintaining their top position, and J and F and the other Stevo is getting up here. I can see Stevo down here is gearing up. Okay, number 9. A watch exclusive. So that means that the tax is not included. $120. J paid for the watch with 10% tax. So that means that when J paid for the watch, he had to pay 10% tax included. How much change? Answer the question that is given to you. The question asks you for the change. Okay? So the original price is $120. Original price $120. And the tax, remember tax is added there, just to let you all know, tax is added. The tax is 10%. Okay, so remember when you calculate your tax now, everybody should know how to calculate what's 10% of 120. You all should know that by now. We don't need a calculator for that. We don't need a calculator. Okay, we don't need a calculator for that. So we are mathematicians. We just move our decimal point. Quick maths, quick maths. Okay, so we have a few more seconds remaining. Remember, they're asking you for the change. So you first have to calculate what's 10% of $120. Remember, the tax is added. So then you would get the total price that he has to pay, and then you calculate the change. Okay, so yes, majority of you all did get this correct, but I see that 4, 5, 6 of you all made an error. So let's see here. So the original price was $120 and the tax was 10%. So we all know that 10% represents $12. Okay, so because this is tax and not discount, we have to add the $12. So this gives us a price of $132. Okay, so because the customer paid with $140, you simply subtract the $132 from the $140. Okay, and that gives us a change of $8. Okay. Okay, so let's see here. Let's move on to the next question. Okay, excellent. You are doing great. Okay, so this one here is asking us for the profit as a percentage. This one here is asking us for the profit as a percentage. Okay, so an article bought for $125. So the cost price is $125. The cost price is $125. Okay, the selling price is $175. So they're asking us for the profit as a percentage of the cost price. I already gave you the cost price, $125. So first calculate your profit. Once you get your profit, you place it over the cost price. Okay? Again, they're asking you for your answer as a percentage. Okay, they're asking you for your answer as a percentage. Okay. So you should know that you have to multiply by 100% out of 100. Okay, percent out of 100. Okay, so we just have a few more seconds remaining. Let's see how many persons got this correct. Okay, great. However, I see 10 persons. Okay, too many persons got this incorrect. Okay, so let's see here. The original price of the item was $125. Okay, this represents the cost price. The cost price is the original amount. That's the price that the seller paid for the product. Okay, so if you go on Amazon to buy an item for $125 and then you sell it for $175 to the customer, the $125, which is the price that you as the seller paid for it on Amazon, is your cost price. Okay, could somebody tell me how much is the profit here? Could you all type in the chat the value of the profit? The cost price was $125. The selling price $175. So what is the value of the profit? Okay, Jenny said $50. Kayla says 50. Okay, Jay says 50. Excellent. That is correct. Okay, 175 minus 125 gives us a profit of 50. Now, profit percentage, loss percentage, both and will always be calculated over the cost price. Remember that. Your profit percentage and your loss percentage is always out of your cost price. Okay, so 50 out of 125. They said percentage, so you have to multiply this by 100. So we are going to simplify, okay? 25 into 50 goes 2 times. Okay, 25 into 125 goes 5 times. Okay, canceling further. 5 into 5, that goes once. Okay, and 5 into 100 goes 20 times. Multiplying 20 by 2, you get 40%. Okay, so the profit as a percentage of the cost price is 40%. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. We're doing great. We're doing great. Okay, we're doing great. Okay, this one is very similar. So again, calculate the profit, place the profit over the cost price, and then multiply by 100. The cost price in this case is $800. I'm giving you all a hint. The cost price is $800. Okay, the selling price is $1,000. Okay, so we did make a profit. We did make a profit, but they're asking you for the profit as a They're asking you for the profit as a percentage. Remember, it is always over the cost price multiplied by 100. So you have to simplify. You have to simplify in order for you to determine your answer. Okay, we have a few more seconds remaining to calculate your profit first. After you get your profit, you place it over your cost price, then you multiply that by 100. A few more seconds remaining. Let's see here. Okay, excellent. So not more persons got this correct. Actually, just 7 of you all got this correct. So let's see here. If the cost price was $800 and the selling price is $1,000, could you all tell me how much the profit is? How much is the profit? Okay, you all can type that in the chat. $800 is the cost price. I sold the item for $1,000. Excellent, Jeremiah. 200. So the profit is 200. They asked us for the profit as a percentage. So we say 200 over the cost price, which is 800, and then we multiply that by 100. Okay? So now we're going to cancel. We're going to simplify. Because my numerator and my denominator both end in 2 zeros, it means that they are both divisible by 100. So 100 into 200 goes 2 times. 100 into 800 goes 8 times. Okay? I'm going to simplify further. 2 into 2 goes once. 2 into 8 goes 4 times. Okay, and you can look at this and you can ask yourself, what's 1/4 of 100? Could somebody tell me what's 1/4 of 100? Because this is what I have here. 1/4 times 100 means 1/4 of 100. What's 1/4 of 100? Could you all type that in the chat for me, please? What's 1/4 of 100? You have $100. I tell you to give me 1/4 of that. Excellent, Stephen. 25. Okay, because 4 into 4 goes once and 4 into 100 goes 25 times. Okay, so that would be 25%. 25%. Okay, excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay, so let's move on. So we are on to our final question of the evening. Again, all of these questions are past paper questions. So you might just see a very similar question on the exam. So please remember the formulas which I taught you, the little trick I taught you all to calculate the 10% and 5 and 20%. Okay, so we are moving on to the final question. Okay, so I see Imperial is just maintaining that first position here, not budging at all. And top G is climbing. But let's move on to the final question of the evening. And we have a ratio question here for you all. A ratio question here. So Jay and Tom shared a sum of money in the ratio 2 to 3. 2 to 3. Jay and Tom. Okay, you have to take a little notes while you're going along. Make sure you understand what the question is saying. Break down the question. If Jay received $60 less than Tom, you need to ask yourself, how many shares or how many portions does that $60 represent? How much money was shared in all? The question asks you, how much money was shared in all? Okay, you need to find out how many shares the $60 represents, and that will help you to determine how much money was shared in all. Jay and Tom shared a sum of money in the ratio 2 to 3. If Jay received $60 less than Tom, Okay, we have 9 more seconds remaining. 4 more, 3 more seconds, 2 more seconds. Okay, so but 9 of you all got this correct, not too bad. Okay, but let's see here. So the question said that Jay and Tom shared a sum of money in the ratio 2-3. You need to look at the order in which the names were called. Jay and Tom. Jay's name was called first. So the ratio 2-3, it means that Jay received 2 shares or 2 portions. You can think of the 2 and the 3 as bags of money. So here it is. Jay got 2 bags of money and Tom got 3 bags of money. Okay, because they said Jay name first, then they said Tom. So Jay got 2 shares and then Tom got 3 because the ratio is 2-3. Then the question went on to say, if Jay received $60 less than Tom, my question to you is, how many bags less did Jay receive than Tom? Jay got 2 bags, as we can see here, and Tom got 3. How many bags less, or how many portions less did Jay receive than Tom? How many portions less did Jay receive than Tom? Jeremiah said 1 bag. Do you all agree with that? Okay, I agree with that. Marlon agrees with that. 1. Okay, so you see, whenever they give you the value, the money, you need to first find out how many portions that represents. So because the question said that the $60, it says that Jay received the $60 less than Tom. You then needed to look at how many shares less did Jay receive. So it means that the $60 represents 1 share. Okay? The $60 represents 1 share. Then the question asked, how much money was shared in all? How many bags do we have here? 5. Because we have 3 plus 2, we have 5 shares. If we have $60 in 1 share, in 1 portion, how much money was shared in all? You simply multiply 60 by 5. Okay? 60 multiplied by 5. Let me move this here a bit. 60 multiplied by 5, that gives us 300. 5 by 6, that's 30. 5 by 0, that's 0. Okay, so $300 was shared in all. Okay, so we have come to the end of our game. Unfortunately, we have come to the end of our game. Okay, for those of you all who do not know me, just to remind you all, I am Miss K. George, aka the Math Master. Okay, I'm the CEO and the founder of Jumpstart Institute. Here we engage students, we empower students through technology. Okay, I will be on again, God's willing, by God's grace. I will be here again this Wednesday, the 7th. So please share with your friends, that you know who's going to write the CXC exam. Help them to get that grade 1. Okay, I will also be on the 12th, which is the day before the exam. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and do so that when I come on, you will get a notification. So subscribe. Also let your friends subscribe as well. And also for those of you all who are looking for a crash course, if you go onto our website, www.jumpstartinstitute.com, we do have our digital study guide available here for you all who need a crash course. Okay, so let's get back to the game. So let's see who is the final person, the final scores here. What are the final scores? Let's see here. What are the final scores? Okay, so Top G is in the 3rd place. We have J in 2nd place. And in 1st place, we have Imperial Maiden. Okay, so congratulations to KK and J who are in 4th and 5th place. And also congratulations to everyone who is on this live. It shows that you're interested in your learning. It shows that you want to do better in math. It shows that you are preparing yourself for the exam next week, okay? So again, I would like to encourage you all to be here again next week. Okay, not next week, well, it's on Wednesday coming. Okay, so you can rejoin on Wednesday, share, subscribe, tell your friends about Jumpstart Institute. Okay, and thank you all very much for being here. I enjoyed myself. Okay, if you enjoyed the game, type a Y in the chat for me. No, type a J in the chat. J for Jumpstart Institute. If you enjoyed the live, if you find that you learn and you want to be here again, you know what? Before you all leave, let me give you all the link for the game. I am going to give you all the link for the game for those of you all who want to, not those of you all, you should try the game again. Okay? I am going to give you all the link for the game. I am going to leave the timer on it because it is important that you, when you're answering the questions, that you answer within a specific time. Excellent, excellent. Okay, so here's the link for the game. Okay, for those of you all joining here. So once you click on this link, you can copy the link in the chat and just place it anywhere on your computer, anywhere on your phone, and you can play this game as many times as you want. Again, this game, it includes past paper questions. So I can assure you by playing this game, you will be preparing yourself for the exam. It's focused on number concepts and computation. On Wednesday, God's willing, I will be looking at other areas like algebra, the other areas that comes in the exam. Okay, so I enjoyed myself with you all. I'll see you all on Wednesday. Please tell your friends about this channel, and I will see you all on Wednesday, God's willing. Bye. Okay, bye Ajani, bye Jaylene, bye Journey, bye Marlon, bye Kayla, bye. Bye, bye. Let's see. Okay, so I'll see you all. Bye.